Hello and welcome to Georgia Studies. Today we will be learning about the American Indians who inhabited Georgia before European exploration. Y'all ready for this? Here we go. There are many prehistoric people who lived in what is present-day Georgia. Prehistoric means before history was written down. The group of American Indians that were living in Georgia when the Europeans settled were known as the Mississippians. The Mississippian culture was a chiefdom society. This means there was a chief, followed by a group of leaders called elites. Think of your school and how you have a principal and assistant principals. However, the majority of this society were known as commoners. The commoners were the workforce of the civilization. They were the ones who built the towns. Often they built palisades, guard towers, and moats for defense. A palisade is a tall fence used for protection. One of the most common things the Mississippians are known for are their earthen mounds. These mounds were used for religious and social activities. As you can see from the image, these mounds were used for many generations. When a chief would die, they would bury them in the mound and then build another layer on top. They would use the flat top part for religious ceremonies. Most of their everyday houses looked like this. They were known as wattle and daub shelters. Wattle and daub is when you combine mud or clay with sticks or hay and apply it to the structure of the shelter. This helps create a protective barrier as well as helps to insulate the house in the summer and winter months. Prehistoric American Indian cultures were nomadic. This means they moved constantly and typically followed the animals they wanted to hunt for food. However, the early Mississippians practiced horticulture. Horticulture means you plant and grow your own food. Since the Mississippians were no longer nomadic, they could build permanent house and gardens. Their main crop was known as maize. We know maize as corn. Since the Mississippians created permanent towns, they were able to trade with other neighboring towns. They would trade raw materials and finished good. Some of the finished goods they would trade would be jewelry made of beads, pottery, and stone tools. Even though they were no longer nomadic, they still hunted using bows and arrows as well as knives. They used their weapons to hunt deer, rabbit, muskrat, beaver, raccoons, turtles, and turkey. They also gathered seasonal fruits. Some of these fruits that were native to Georgia were plums, grapes, blackberries, and raspberries. Unfortunately for the Mississippians, the contact they had with the Europeans exposed them to diseases they were not used to. This killed a majority of their population. The Mississippians were later reorganized into the smaller tribes of the Creek and the Cherokee. Thank you so much for stopping by. Teachers and students, don't forget to like the video and comment on what you would like to see a video about for next time. Also, please make sure to subscribe for more Georgia Studies content. See you next time.